Hey guys, how you doing today? And I hope you're doing well. God bless you for rising today. Here's another quick message. It's coming out of the book of Isaiah, chapter 38, and we're there to verse 1 and 2. In those days, Hezekiah was sick and near death, and Isaiah the prophet, the son of Amos, went to him and said to him, "Thus said the Lord, set your house in order, for you shall die and not live." Amen. God bless the word. Guys, have you ever heard devastating news like that in your life? I don't, and I mean the kind of news that makes you fall to your knees. The kind of news that makes your heart drop all the way to your feet and you feel about an inch tall. You know, I remember when I was, I think I was about 14 or 15 years old, and I was a freshman in high school, and I was raised with my grandparents. And my grandmother had already went to glory with the Lord a few years earlier, and one of my uncles had woke me up in the middle of the night to tell me that my grandfather went to glory with the Lord. So here I was, 15, 16 years old, not having a mother, not having a father, not having a male figure, not having a female figure. I felt devastated. But I wasn't as strong in faith as Hezekiah was. Because, see, in 2, what did Hezekiah do? What Hezekiah did was he turned his face toward the wall. Right here in 38:2. Then Hezekiah turned his face toward the wall and prayed to the Lord and said, "Remember now, O Lord, I pray, how I have walked before you in truth and with a loyal heart, and I have done what is good in your sight." And Hezekiah wept bitterly. Amen. Guys, and that's pretty powerful because he already had the faith. He had faith that was going to move the mountain already. And so he reminded the Lord, he said, "Lord, remember how I've done this already for you? And Lord, how I've done things for you already. And what does he say here? How I've walked in truth before you. How many of us could actually do what Hezekiah did? You just got life-changing news that just took you down to your knees, but yet your faith is so strong that you turn to the Lord and you say, "Remember how I walked in truth in front of you?" How powerful, how strong is that? How much faith does that show that Hezekiah had during that time? It's amazing for someone to have that type of faith to remind God that, to tell God, I know you want to devastate me and take my life from me, but God, I walked in faith in front of you. I showed you my strength. I showed you my faith. I showed you how strong I was towards you. I showed you these things, Lord. Don't do this to me. Lord, I was faithful to you. I love you. Guys, how many of you can do that? It's amazing the fact that Hezekiah even thought to do that because that's all he knew. So guys, what I'm telling you here today is listen, get in this book, get in the word, get that faith up. So when something devastating comes to you, you can tell the Lord, it's going to change. It ain't happening. A couple of days ago in the newspaper, I was reading about this son. His father had died. He was dead for about 45 minutes in the hospital. And he went in with the pastor and he told his father, not today. You're not going to die. Get up. And they prayed over him and he rose. Listen, don't tell me about the size of the problem. Don't tell me about what science says about the problem. Don't tell me about what man says about the problem. I'm going to tell you about the size of my God. When David slew Goliath, David didn't worry about how big he was. He said, "Who is this Philistine talking all day?" Hey, David didn't care about all that. David just had faith. David had faith. He talking, and this Philistine is talking down on his God. David had faith, guys. You have that same faith, the kind of faith that moves mountains, the kind of faith that brings that life of expectancy to you, the kind of faith that's exceedingly above and beyond. Guys, when you have that level of faith, no matter what it is that comes your way, you can change it. Guys, I thank you for listening to this message today. God bless.